Communication exceptionalities, learning disabilities, dyslexia. What is a learning disability? According to the Ontario Ministry of Education's definition, a learning disorder is evident in both academic situations and social perception and interaction. Learning disabilities may also cause difficulties with organizational skills. They may involve one or more of the processes necessary for the proper use of spoken language or the symbols of communication, and is not characterized by a condition that is primarily the result of an impairment of vision, impairment of hearing, a physical handicap, developmental disability, primary emotional disturbance, or cultural difference. Results in significant discrepancy between academic achievement and assessed intellectual ability with deficiency in one or more of the following: receptive language, language processing, expressive language, mathematical computations. It may also be associated with one or more of these diagnosed conditions: a perceptual handicap, a brain injury, a minimal brain dysfunction, dyslexia, or developmental aphasia. When people think of dyslexia, many think that it means that people see words or letters backwards, when in actuality they see everything the same as us. Dyslexia is caused by a phonological processing problem in the brain. Individuals with dyslexia do not have a problem seeing language, but have trouble when manipulating it. Students with dyslexia can break larger words into smaller sections. It takes students with dyslexia a longer time to complete reading and writing tasks because they need to decode each and every word, which can affect their ability to comprehend what they are reading. They tend to spell phonetically, so friends to them would be FRENS, would be the sounds that they hear. And just like autism, dyslexia happens on a continuum from mild to severe. They found that dyslexia does have genetic capabilities and is found in families, but is also impacted by environmental factors. An interesting term, neurodiversity. All of our students' brains are different in structure and function, and therefore we cannot assume how all individuals with dyslexia or learning disabilities will perform or behave. Instead, looking at this with an asset model instead of a deficit model, looking at our students at what they bring and their full potential, not at what they lack. Tests have discovered that people with dyslexia use the right side of the brain and frontal lobe more than those without dyslexia, and this is why it can sometimes take it longer for them to process words. Individuals with dyslexia can improve their brain functioning and ability to read through intensive multisensory interventions that can help them to practice breaking language down and decoding words. Some signs and symptoms of dyslexia can be a delayed onset of speech, difficulty distinguishing left from right, difficulty with direction, lack of phonological awareness, can be easily distracted by background noise. Reversal of letters or words and mirror writing are behaviors sometimes seen, but are not always characteristics of the disorder. They may have difficulty with spelling words, reading quickly, writing words, sounding out words in the head, pronouncing words when reading aloud, or understanding what one has read. It is also associated with ADHD and as well has impact on a person's ability to manipulate numbers. It is not an indication of a person's intelligence. Dyslexia is separate from reading difficulties caused by insufficient teaching or either hearing or vision problems. There is no real way to test for dyslexia, and it can be done through a simple assessment or through a long list of different tests by a trained professional. There are several free online resources that parents can use to test their children for dyslexia. One of these I found was called Z Screener. The parent and child navigate their way through several screens, attempting to read words on the screen as the parent indicates their child's ability. The test at the end will then give the parent a score and will tell them if their child has passed or failed. If the child has failed, the parent can then seek professional advice. Parents and teachers must keep in mind that a brief assessment of the child's reading ability or score from an online resource is not a diagnosis. In a formal diagnosis, the child undergoes a battery of tests that usually measures IQ, language abilities, academic achievement in specific areas. The testing is normally done by a licensed psychologist or a team that includes a psychologist and one or more reading specialists. Dyslexia is diagnosed through a series of tests through memory, spelling, vision, and reading skills. Children with dyslexia may find it hard to communicate with their peers because it may take them longer to find the right words or phrases to participate in a conversation. Dyslexia can also affect the child's self-esteem and level of confidence, which can make it hard to make friends. Children with dyslexia find it difficult to understand jokes or double meanings, and it can be very difficult for them to pick up on certain social cues like facial expressions, body language, sarcasm. Dyslexia can make it hard to recall events or previous conversations, which can make it very confusing for the individual and their friends. Students with dyslexia are more likely to be victims of verbal and physical abuse, and can become defensive or secretive to avoid ridicule from peers and authority figures. They may be afraid to take risks or try new things, and they can underestimate their own set of skills and knowledge. Students who find it challenging to listen, take notes, or complete the given task may become disruptive in class and exhibit unwanted behaviors. The student can become easily distracted or may have difficulty focusing or maintaining attention. The student may become easily frustrated when tasks are difficult and give up or refuse to finish work. Students with dyslexia may exhibit a deficient in reading comprehension, written word decoding, or written expression. A reading deficiency can impact the child's learning in all subject areas, and students can become behind and find it very difficult to catch up. Missing out on key learning fundamentals and important information that will serve as their background knowledge for new concepts can have a devastating effect on their potential to reach new goals. Test taking can be very difficult for these students and can be challenging for them to demonstrate their learning and knowledge of a particular concept. When teaching a child with dyslexia, there are effective teaching strategies you can use. Allow the child a quiet area to work or to cool down if they do become frustrated. Provide preferential seating close to the teacher's desk and away from distractions. Chunk instruction into simple, easy-to-follow steps and allow them extra time to complete tasks and tests. You may also want to scribe for the student when necessary. Allow a child to take tests orally or use the use of assistive technology. Modify the level and amount of work. During instruction, always use a multimodal approach using visuals and videos. Include student in guided reading and LLI, and use software to practice reading skills such as Tumblebooks, RazKids, Starfall, etc. Some assistive technologies that are helpful when teaching a student with dyslexia can be graphic organizers so that they can organize their thoughts into one central place, speech-to-text software such as Kurzweil 3000, which allows text to be read to the student, highlighting key words and giving definitions, text-to-speech software, and word prediction programs like Clicker 6,